In this New World video, I'm going to show you the best bruiser drops in New World. I'm going to show you the best in slot items that you can get all around New World by just farming mobs and expeditions. Crafting or buying best in slot weapons can be tedious and expensive. As well, we need some fast and quick legendaries to do all of the mutated dungeons. If you want the almost best in slot great axe, there's two great axes that you can go and farm for. The first one is called Weapons Masters Chosen. The chosen great axe comes with strength, mending execute, vicious and keen. This is almost best in slot. It has two great perks. Of course, if you're somebody that uses execute, this will also benefit you, but you're basically farming this weapon for the vicious and keen. This great axe you can go and farm in the expedition called Legendaries, and the boss that you're going to farm is called Scylla. She drops the Weapons Masters Chosen. Scylla is that snake lady in Legendaries that looks like she's made from stone, and she also looks like Sedusa. Another great axe that you can go and farm for is called Blightbone Battle Axe. This Blightbone Battle Axe has strength on it, and it has Angry Earth, Bane, Keenly Jagged and Keen. We're mainly farming this weapon for Keenly Jagged and Keen. This great axe drops from Genesis, from the Alluvium Mall, the Caretaker. It's that boss that says "My flowers, my children," which is basically the boss that stands in the middle and it summons like a circle around it. Now that you have your great axes, we're going to have a look at some warhammers. There's only two warhammers that you have to go and farm for. The first one is called Fury. Fury is one of the best warhammers in game, and it has keen, vicious and keenly empowered on it. So it's definitely one of the best in slot warhammers. Fury drops in the Lazarus expedition, and it drops from the boss called Chardes. Chardes is that big stone boss at the end of Lazarus. You'll definitely notice him when you see him. The next warhammer that you can go and farm for is called the Woods Warden. It has keenly fortified on it, keen and vicious, and also it comes with strength. This is also one of the best warhammers in game. This makes you a little bit more tanky other than the Fury, which gives you keenly empowered. You can go and farm the Woods Warden in the Genesis dungeon. The boss that drops the Woods Warden is called the Blight Greenskeeper. It's the end boss of Genesis. You'll know her since she has that long body, and she's the plant lady at the end that throws some poison on the ground and some rocks. Now we're going to look at some jewelry. The Bruisers is probably one of the luckiest class in the game, since they drop some really good jewelry in dungeons for Bruisers. First we're going to look at two rings, then an earring and then some amulets. The first best in slot ring that we are going to look at is called the Beginning. The Beginning ring has keen awareness on it, hearty and refreshing. The Beginning ring drops in Reekwater at the Forecastle Drift Elite Zone. You can farm it from a few mobs, mainly the Siren's First, the Siren's Guide and the Siren's Gun. This is a good place to go and farm for one of the best in slot rings, since you can just loop the bosses in a circle and farm them over and over again, which makes it a little bit easier to go and farm. The next best in slot ring that you can go and farm is called the Smooth Bone ring. It has strength on it, keen awareness, hearty and leeching. This is truly one of the best in slot rings in the game. This has all the perks on it that you would ever want on a ring. You can go and farm the Smooth Bone ring in the Lazarus expedition or dungeon. It drops from a multiple number of mobs, so you just have to be lucky and hope that you find it. Make sure you get it in Legendary to get all of the free perks. Now we're going to move on to the earring. There's only one earring that you can go and farm for the Bruiser that is best in slot. The earring is called Doom's Chance Earring. The earring has strength on it, an onyx gem, the perk Regenerating, Refreshing Toast and Refreshing. This is also one of those earrings that is best in slot. You probably can't even craft a better earring than Doom's Chance. You can go and farm the Doom's Chance earring in Genesis. The boss that drops the Doom's Chance earring is called Alluvium Mall, the Caretaker. Again, It's that angry earth monster standing in the middle that always says my flowers, my children, and it's that plant guy that places a circle around him when you fight him. Now we're going to go on and cover some amulets. What I'm going to say is that there isn't really best in slot amulets that you can go and farm for, but there is just some generally good amulets that you can go and farm. If you truly want the best in slot amulet, you're going to have to craft your own amulet or buy it from somebody. But the first amulet that we're going to cover is called the Eyes in the Abyss. This amulet has Constitution on it, Health, Purifying and Nature Protection. This amulet isn't that great, but the perk that makes it a good enough amulet is Health and Purifying. Of course, nature damage is going to help you against healers, but that's about it. This amulet drops from the Leviathan of the Deep. It's located in Shattered Mountain, Scorched Mines and Bushy Superior. This is an elite zone. You are going to require a party to take down this monster. It's that demon monster with the tail and the horns that you're going to have to kill. He's really strong and he's really tanky. Luckily the Eyes in the Abyss amulet has Constitution on it, so your other party members can utilize this amulet as well. So they will be somewhat motivated to help you actually farm for this amulet. The next amulet that we are going to cover is called the Chain of Zane. This amulet has Strength on it, a Nature Gem on it, Health, Refreshing and Luck. If you're somebody that enjoys PvE, this is a really good amulet, but it can also be utilized in PvP. The Chain of Zane amulet drops in the Lazarus Expedition and it drops from Cameroset Arcanus. I butchered this pronunciation, but Cameroset Arcanus, basically it's that lady with the staff just before the big boss. She basically summons skeletons and she has that blue shockwave ability thing that pushes people back and does a lot of damage. Now we're going to move on to best in slot armor, where you can actually farm best in slot armor. There's only one piece that you can go and farm that's considered almost best in slot for the Bruiser. It's called the Warden's Guise. This is a light piece headpiece and it has Strength on it, Refreshing, Resilient and Luck. So it's not really best in slot since it needs some ability perk on it, but at least it has Resilient and Refreshing on it. This piece you can go and farm in the Genesis dungeon and it drops from Taxodidius. Taxodidius is that mob in Genesis with the tail that's made from a tree and it has that little pink mushroom hat on his head. You can't miss him since he's singled out and he will stand in the middle of a little pool. This is basically all of the best in slot items that can drop for Bruisers at the moment in game. So what I would recommend is that you basically do the Genesis dungeon and the Lazarus dungeon. If you do those two dungeons each day, you're probably going to get the best in slot items eventually. But you will have to make sure that your gear score is at least 600 so you can get legendary drops. So make sure that you get your expertise up. Also, if there's some mutation dungeons, go and farm these mobs and make sure you get those legendaries to make life just a little bit easier for yourself. If you've liked this video, consider subscribing. I post new World videos every week.